Hey, welcome back to Techopolis 3, where in the last video, we set up this big, messy, complicated production line to passively generate alternate technium ingots. And since then, I've left it running for quite a while to hopefully get enough ingots to cover the plans for this video. I have fiddled with this a little bit on my own. I've added some of these level emitters around so that I don't run out of important things like ender pearls. And I've also added a second simulation chamber, just to get the pearls a bit quicker, because that is the only bottleneck I can find right now. And I also just manually filled in the backlog here, so that it can make the replica much quicker. And it might be worth me upgrading some of these machines, but they rarely need to go at full capacity anyway, because I don't produce simulation pearls fast enough. I don't know, this is the one and only bottleneck I have right now. But it's functional, and it didn't take too long to get all of this technium. So, I'm going to put it to use. Because the plan for this video is to get as much ultimate research done as possible. Because pretty much everything here is extremely useful. Ultimate miners, ultimate speed curio, and the ultimate research crafter makes everything go so much quicker. A time in a bottle is incredibly powerful. Reinforced reactors might be where I end up spending the most time in this video. I don't know how they change things, whether it's more power, more fuel efficiency, or a larger multi-block. It doesn't specify, but they should be an upgrade either way. And then wireless charges and infinity cells are just a nice extra bonus. Because, I mean, infinity of anything from the miners, plus water, lava, and creosote, is really, really good. They are kind of expensive though, so it might not be a thing that I can get in this video, but I can definitely get the research. Oh, and they're extremely power hungry. But maybe with the bigger reactors it'll be fine. I don't know. We'll see how things go. But first and foremost, I need to turn most of this technium into research. I don't want to convert all of it, but I'm going to need quite a lot of ultimate research. So while that goes through, what research should I go for first? The research crafter is probably a good idea. It's not super expensive, and it should make every other craft much quicker. There we go. That's the first research. What's next? I'm going to say time in a bottle, because that can accelerate both of these machines. And the time in a bottle needs plutonium or polonium, both of which I have in reasonable quantities. Which do I have more of? Polonium, by a pretty significant amount. I just take more than I need. There we go. Now, how does this work? I can use extra polonium to make a time crystal, and then 2 time crystals, glass, and a clock makes a time in a bottle. Oh, and there's a curio slot for it. Nice! I don't have to leave it in my inventory forever. I can also make a time in a bottle charger? Does that make it build time quicker? That could be really strong. I'll just stick to the normal time in a bottle for now. And I'm guessing this will be a pretty long recipe? Oh, yeah. Well, while I wait for that, what else can I make? The ultimate miner and the speed curio should be fairly cheap. 8 elite miners. Maybe? It's a pain, but I can do it. Oh, and then the speed curio is just 32 sugar. That is considerably easier. I need a lot of pickaxes. And a lot of hammers too. But eventually, I can get all the miners. The annoying part now is waiting for it to all go through, but thankfully the time crystals are done, so I can get that time in a bottle. I am going to have to wait a little while for it to build up the time, but used properly I can effectively double the tick rate on anything. Let's see, if I just put a minute on it... Oh, it doesn't let me do a minute, it only goes times 4. It's quicker. Oh, and it actually says how long it'll last. But I do still have to wait for it to run out before I can put it back. But right now, I just don't have enough stored time to get anything too significant out of it. So I'm just going to stick it in its slot for like 30 minutes and bring it back out when I need it. But for now, I've got what I need to get the research. And in the meantime, I'm going to upgrade my speed curio. And I've been living with speed 3 for so long that this feels so slow. Give me that curio. I need it. Normal speed. And in that time, the ultimate miner's blueprint is done. But I'm not sure how much I need to use it. because my current miners are doing a pretty good job. I'm keeping up on pretty much every front, and soon I'm going to get infinity cells, which make basically every miner irrelevant. Well, grout's been kind of irrelevant for a while, because with clay, sand, and gravel, you get everything already. But the infinity cell blueprint is a little far off. That's going to take a while. But I have automated most of the processes here. The only questionable thing is skystone. Oh, just crush skystone. And I do have a recipe for that, right? Yeah. So I can just do this. And I can just queue up 8 256k storage components. Ooh. Ooh. That's gonna take a long time. But I could do it. I think I'm just gonna start by putting all of my dimensional redstone ore in here, and just leaving that for like a year to generate a ton of redstone for me. And similarly, I'll extract a bunch of sand. Or actually, I'm long overdue to switch these over for drawers. So maybe I do that. Because I don't think I've got the storage space. Nope, I do have enough storage space for all that sand. But still, I should make drawers for those. So, brief detour, I guess. I might make them compacting drawers, actually. Because being able to extract compacted versions would be handy. And it's not much more expensive. How many of these do I need? 5? So I need 10 compactors. Oh boy. This might take a while. But that's where the time in a bottle comes in. I can make this significantly quicker. So there we go. 5 compacting drawers. I doubt I even need to put a void upgrade in these. The chests don't have void upgrades and they've been fine. I am just going to place these in a way that I can actually put my own gravel back in there. Or any block for that matter. There we go. That should be much better storage for all of this. And I've got a ton of compressed to boot, which is going to be quite useful when I eventually need gigatronium ingots. It might be worth me upgrading all of these to be ultimate miners now, because if I have that increased storage size, I do kind of want to fill it. And ultimate miners are pretty good. Yeah. Some of these are still only advanced. I guess I forgot to upgrade them the first time around. So I need to get a couple more elites. But that's not a big deal. So there's the 8 ultimate miners. I can put them back in place, along with their elite Techni machine frames. And there, that should be a pretty significant upgrade across the board. My last question is if the wooden hoppers are able to keep up anymore. They don't seem to be backing up, so maybe? I'll check back later and see. Okay, so what research should I do next? I guess I can get wireless charging out of the way. This doesn't seem too bad. I just need a couple of quantum entangle porters. And I'm going to want to make a lot more than just 5, so I may as well make a recipe. And that way I can see exactly how much refined obsidian I'm missing. I should probably set up the osmium compressor to run. However, to do that, I'd like to get an advanced pattern provider. Oh, and I've been able to get those for ages. I thought they might have needed entro crystals. But I think that might just be the extended. Yeah. Well, with an advanced pattern provider, I'm pretty sure I can use that to insert into multiple sides. Is that a thing I have to do with the patterns? Yes, there are advanced pattern encoders. I need to get some charged soda squats for that. And then how does this work? I think I need to encode the pattern first. Aha! So I can tell the refined obsidian to go in the top, and the osmium to go in the bottom. Then I can put that in there, and it should make things properly. Meaning now, I can queue up anything requiring refined obsidian, and it should just work. I do need to set it to auto-eject though. While I'm here, I may as well do it for refined glowstone as well. Anyway, I can move on with making that wireless charger blueprint, and then I can make that wireless charger, and I guess I can just slot it there? Yeah. And it should keep my wireless crafting terminal charged. I don't have anything else that requires power. Okay. Well, the last thing here that I can actually afford right now is the bigger reactors. I've already covered the infinity cells. That is not happening for quite a long time. And then the boss data model, as useful as it would be, 64 model frameworks are a little bit of a pain, and I don't have enough Ultimate Technium spare to afford the research or any of the data models. Also, it takes another 64 model frameworks to get a boss data model. Jeez, this is expensive. So, bigger reactors is the last thing here for me to worry about for now, and that just needs a stack of uranium. That's not a big deal, so I can get that research fairly easily. And then the blueprint itself upgrades casings to be reinforced, and from there I can make all of the reinforced things. So I guess now I need to figure out how to make a reinforced reactor. And it does require its own Ultimate Technium. Good thing I held on to some of the ingots. Annoyingly, I don't have much information to go off of here, but bigger in size is quite enticing. I've got a thing here for a turbine, but that's not happening. And I'd like a bit more information before I try building a reactor. So I'm gonna check the manual. It's pretty cheap, so let's see. Oh, cool. I can build as big as I want. Oh, up to 256 blocks. Otherwise, I think it's exactly the same multi-block. Okay, well, I better get converting then. I'm gonna need a lot. I'm not sure how big I plan on going, but I do have extra space here. I could probably combine these two reactors, so that'd be 11 by 11. I can probably make it go deeper as well, and I wouldn't need to excavate that much more space for it. And with Ultimine, it's pretty easy to carve out quite a lot at a time. Although looking at this now, this is a pretty large hole. It'd make a pretty large reactor, but I do kind of need a reactor on that scale. Am I really gonna fill in this hole with one reactor? Yeah, seems like it'll be worth it. I don't think I'm gonna do it super dense like this. That just feels like a bad idea. I do kind of want to make a proper reactor here, but there's still gonna be a lot of stuff. The casing is gonna be the most expensive part here, just because of how much I'm gonna need. So I'll start by just building up the rest of this and just figuring out how many more casings I need. 2 stacks should be enough to let me make most things here. And for the sake of space, I'm gonna tear down these reactors. Hopefully I can recycle some of this. I don't think I'll be able to recycle stuff like the fuel rods and the ports and things, but I should be able to recycle everything else. Okay, this is a pretty large footprint to fill in. I'll start by making some of these simpler things. The control block might be the hardest, just because of the Technium machine frame. But all I'm really missing is a platinum gear, and then I can get that just the same. I've got spare Technium nuggets, so then there's the controller. It gets interesting when I get to the fuel rods and control rods. Ooh, these are gonna be expensive. I think it's worth me making a recipe for them. I need to consider where I'm putting the control rods to even know how much I need. Do I want to place them in a grid like that and stretch that all the way to the top? Or do I want to do 2x2 columns of fuel rods? I can't fit it in cleanly though. I could go for 3x3s, but I'm starting to fill a bit too much of the reactor at that point. I wonder if I can find a middle ground. How would something like this work? It only covers about 1/3 of the space, so that gives a lot of opportunity for coolant. I might make this central one filled in like that. Maybe I could even fill in these bits, because they're kind of awkward to deal with otherwise. Then I can just put water in these corners, and that covers everything quite well. I think I go with a design like this. Nothing's touching the wall, so it shouldn't generate an extreme amount of heat, and there's still enough fuel rods that it's generating a lot of heat at all. I'm fairly certain, much like with the basic reactors, the reinforced ones can't explode, so I could just fill this completely, and I'd probably be fine, but that feels really dumb, and I'd probably burn through my fuel way too quickly, so I need a bit of leniency here. I can push it later on, once I see how much fuel this consumes, but For now, I'm gonna leave it at this. So to make this, I'm gonna need 249 fuel rods. Ugh. And 29 control rods. And I don't even have enough for the control rods, let alone the fuel rods. So I need to make myself quite a lot more reactor casings. How's 8 stacks? I can almost afford it. I just need a lot of oak leaves. The only reason I need the leaves is so I can replicate charcoal. Is there a better way to get charcoal, maybe? Or is there a more efficient way to make steel? I think that's the crux of it. I think I should start using enriched carbon. It only gives 4 times as much, but that's still significant. So, does that make this cheaper? Not really. Oh, right. I didn't change the quantities. But even then, it doesn't save all that much. Because most of it's going to graphite. And there really isn't any other way to get graphite. I just need the arc furnace. Ooh, but wait. There's nothing in the arc furnace. I need to get these graphite electrodes back. So I need to get myself a bunch more coal coke. And there's not really much I can do to speed up the coke oven. So I guess I'm just waiting for a bit. Actually, there is something I can do. But it doesn't want me to. Why do multi-blocks have to be broken with this? I guess there's still some more preparation I need to do for the reactor in the meantime. So I can do something while I wait. Ooh, small problem. My crafting CPUs aren't big enough for this. I think for now, I can just connect 2 together. Yeah, and that's good enough. But I'm gonna have to upgrade these pretty soon. But I don't have time for that right now. And I guess if coal coke is gonna take a long time, I'm just gonna steal the electrodes back from here because I've got plenty of enderium. And I'm not gonna need much more for a while. And if all I'm waiting on is charcoal, I can help it along a little bit. While waiting for everything else to go through, I've managed to get 3 more graphite electrodes, so I can fix this up. And if I help the charcoal along even more, then I can finally get all 8 stacks of those reactor casings, and I can finally start making some of the reactor pieces. But I'm still short on things. I'm not even gonna go through the AE2 recipe for this. I'm going to do a lot of this manually to just kind of skip past all the replication stuff that it's trying to do. So then I should be able to make it quite a lot quicker. But apparently I'm missing iron. Great. It could be worth me making some dimensional iron ore. And I can swap out the replica, because I don't need nearly as much of that anymore. It's still going to be somewhat slow, but it's faster than the rock washes at least. I will just take the redstone out though, because I've produced more than enough of that. Well, for now, how many reactor fuel rods am I actually able to make? I can make 128. 2 stacks is good enough. I'm not going to be able to completely make this reactor, but I can make a good chunk of it. This is far from the amount that I wanted, but this is the best I can do in the time I've got left. I guess the main thing left is to see if I've even got enough reactor casings to finish this off. Ooh, which I think I barely don't. Hang on, I can put all of these things in. That'll let me save a few more casings, but yeah, it's not enough. So if I just make another half a stack, seems like it'll let me do that. And then is half a stack gonna cut it? No, but I'm nearly there. I need another 14. There we go. And it's formed. So this is a valid multi-block, and it isn't too large. I was a little worried that might have ended up being the case, but it seems no. So now I just need to fuel it, which, whew, it's gonna need a lot of fuel. I might steal some of the spare from the other reactors. Okay, it's fully fueled. And now, just in case something goes wrong, I'm gonna make a backup. So then, let's see how this goes. Very quickly builds up to a lot of heat. It's burning quite a lot more fuel. That's to be expected. And the energy buff is going to fill pretty quickly, because I'm quite full on power right now. But, Ooh, it's generating 20,000 FE per tick. So this reactor is about 4 or 5 times as much power as the two there previously, but it is taking up quite a lot more space than those other two. It's taking up about 4 or 5 times as much space. So, checks out. However, this is nowhere near perfect, or max capacity. So I can upgrade this quite a lot further. And it doesn't even burn through fuel that quickly. I should be able to keep up quite handily. Well then, I don't know if I've got enough time to finish building this up, but eventually, once I can get enough iron and charcoal to manage the steel and graphite, I can put the rest of the fuel rods in there, and also probably more of the coolant, because I forgot to do more water than just that first layer, but it doesn't seem like it matters too much. I guess we'll see. But either way, for the sake of this video, I'm happy to call the reactor done. So is there anything else that I want to do before the end of this video? I could try making the infinity cells, because I have the redstone and the sand now, but now I've run out of nickel. And it's not a great idea to be making the nickel this way, but it would let me turn some of my spare ingots into more useful metals right now. And I can probably also convert the nickel this way. So then I can set this craft going, but given the rate that some of this stuff is converted, this is going to take days. I'll set it off, but it's not going to be done in this video. Then the alternative thing is the boss data models, and I do have enough ultimate technium to get the rest of the research, but 64 model frameworks is quite a thing. Not to mention the second stack that I need to make a single boss data model. I think I'll hold off on doing this until I need to get a lot of nether stars. So then, for now, I'm done with ultimate research. I'm gonna need to touch a bit more once I start going down the hellish trees, and I'll make some infinity cells when I start really running low on those materials. But for now, I'd consider myself completely wrapped up on everything in this ultimate branch. I think on my own, I'll upgrade this reactor. I'll try to push it as far as I can go, because I can get quite a lot more out of this. I might put some reactor glass in there as well, so that I can actually see more than this. And I reckon I can get this to produce at least 30,000 FE per tick, maybe 40,000. Either way, a lot more power. I guess the alternative is making more of these nuclear reactors, because 70,000 FE per tick is pretty hard to beat, but I'd rather not put too much additional strain on my innerite. And actually, the main strain on the innerite is lack of cyanite, so a reactor like this would be very useful. There's a lot to be considering, but the value of that depends on how much extra power I'm going to need for some of this hellish tier stuff, and I've got no clue what's in store for me down here. Things get weird. But that's not something for me to worry about right now. That's something to get into next time. But for now, I don't think I have anything else to say, so I'm going to call the video here. Bye.